Okay, Lockie.
Yeah.
Smile. And this is the bare minimum you need to go quad biking and well, hunting in New Zealand on the quad bike. I had to switch to a voiceover because we did too much wind noise. What I'm illustrating here is all the stuff that you need to be able to take to go hunting, and most people don't carry enough. You need a winch for each bike, a grubber or a pick or a spade, extra rope, jumper leads, snatch block, tree protectors, and additional shackles, spare fuses, spark plugs. Fancy winch, 4,500 £4,500. Yeah, but that was the only one they had available. And of course chainsaw, beer essentials of course. Yeah, water. Well, it's for a bit of fun looking. Of course, this is the reason why you take a pick and chainsaw and everything else, eh, Lockie?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to have a big bike. So this has been cut by somebody else for
a big bike that goes up the hill quick, but a happy white track.
Yeah, and a nervous disposition. Whoever went across here had a very narrow bike, and yeah,
It will be a narrow bike.
it will be. Yeah, yours was right on the edge, and we've got more sense being a bit older.
He only did it for his own bike.
Yeah, and Lockie's got bull bars and all sorts of shit, so his is just a fraction wider. And this thing came down in November, and you can see through there. We got quite a bit to make it wide enough to get the bike down. So.
Oh, it goes through, but
yeah, it's too fucking nervous.
Safer.
Not bad for 74, eh, Lockie?
Yeah, I know.
You're working in the shade though.
Here.
Yeah. Wait until you get out there. Okay, we're making progress.
Yeah, up to here now.
Yeah. Whoever did the first light, I think we've got a lot to be thankful for. Because otherwise we'd be doing a fucking lot of work.
We'll be just there.
Yeah. So there's nothing like a £4,500 winch to help haul the shit out. And yeah, she's a tight squeeze, but we can do it. It's the one further on that's the problem. Well, yeah, we've done it. She's for the 5-star. We're running out of time. I'm going to bounce over this, but we might give it a bit more of a tidy up when we come back next time. Yeah, everybody lucky whoever did it before us. Right, the problem with hunting on public land is there's access to every idiot that ever walked, and here's a classic example. This was done at about Christmas time, and they've lit a fire. It's about 26 degrees during the day. Why do you need a fire? And they lit it right next door to a whole lot of deadfall, and they must have been very close to setting the whole forest on fire. Because right behind all that shit is more deadfall, and it's macrocarpa. Macrocarpa goes up like a Roman candle. So don't be a dickhead like this guy and light fires in the middle of summer. Ridiculous. And where the deadfall is, and under a hunk of macrocarpa. And of course, he got another example of another half-wit lighting fires. And this is macrocarpa. And you only need to get a ember in the shit that's up in these trees here. In the middle of summer, that stuff up there, that's bone dry. As soon as the ember gets up in it, the whole tree goes up. And you can tell he's a bloody amateur because he's he set up this thing to hold his meat up, which I think is just for camping, but why would you store your meat on the sunny side of the tree? And then here's another example. Some idiot way back lit the fire at the base of the tree. That's another no-no.
Killed it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. So that's the joys of public land hunting. You get every bloody idiot that ever existed out there hunting. Ridiculous. And they do all this sort of stuff. And what's he into? Vodka. So he comes on a bike and can't be bothered taking his shit home. Fuck. Bloody ridiculous. So, you come in the middle of summer, you don't need to light fires. You come on a bike and you've got every amount of room available to bring a cooker and all that sort of stuff. And then what do these dickheads do? And you sort of get it every major holiday like Christmas or Easter. All the dickheads who don't know how to hunt, the ones which come hunting and do this sort of nonsense. Right. This is old dog, old trick. And instead of really just reaching down and grabbing the water with your hands where you get bugger all and your guts gets in the way, use a Ziploc bag. And that way, if you want, you get a decent drink. Right. She's kind of warm today. Right. It's just clouded over now, but it was about 24 degrees. So, you're about to see the animal shots. But before you do, we have to go over a few things because you look at the wrong thing. And this channel is all about learning how to hunt. And it's not looking at the animals is what you've got to do. You've got to be looking at where they are and why they're there. When I first started hunting, I used to just aimlessly walk around the scrub until I saw some sign, and then I'd figure out, just basically I'd hang around until such time as a deer poked its head out and then I'd shoot it and go home. It's a reasonably effective strategy, but it took me a long time to actually go that next step, which is to actually work out why the animals are in that spot. And with that information, when you go to another place and the conditions are similar, you can use that same logic to allow you to find where the deer are in the next spot. So if I went to, say, Tatrakina, for example, I could use exactly the same thought process to get onto the deer there. So this spot that I'm hunting is not my favourite spot to go to by a long shot. This is filmed in the middle of February. It's the middle of a drought. All the side creeks are dry. It's stinking hot. And the days are long, nights are short, and it's not a great place to be. If you want the best place for that month of halfway through February to halfway through March, go to the climb animals. The bush is so much nicer, it's cooler, and the deer are nicer to eat as well. So the reason why we come to this spot is we had to make sure the road was open for the raw, and also I was in need of some meat because I've been moving house, which is a mission, and hadn't been able to go out and go hunting, so the deep freeze was empty. I had to bag something, and Lockie's too old to walk into the Clymenus, so we decided to come to this spot. So the reason why it's hard is, although it's got quite a bit of open area to it, the deer aren't on it. I should have taken some shots of the grass. I'll have to do it on a sequel or something like that, but the grass is very, it's long. It's from here to this high, and brown on the top, green stem, but it looks dry. And when you go and look in the open areas, there's not a skerrick of shit anywhere. Bit of dry, manky old stuff from 3 months ago, and that's it. So what that tells you is that the deer are not using the clearing. So if your strategy is to stake out a clearing, you're wasting your time, because you won't see any deer on it, because they're not leaving the calling gate. So what's going to be your strategy then? And you go, I'll stalk the flats. Not really flats, but the next clearing up the creek and so forth. If the conditions are the same in the next clearing up, are you going to be any further ahead? No. Right? Total waste of time. So if they're not out in the open, where are they? And I've got to learn how to do it, but there should be a link up here, which is the episode on practical looking for deer, and that was filmed in the winter, but it was filmed in an old man tea tree spot. And so what you've got is a big tea tree with grass underneath, and what makes that work is that the tea tree doesn't have a very good canopy, and so enough light gets in to allow the grass to grow, but not enough light gets through to dry it out. And so the grass there is going to be lush, green, and above all moist. This is the key factor. The grass is moist. So the deer will much prefer to eat in the bush if they can, and rather than go out in the open. And if they can get everything that they want in the bush, then that's where they're going to be. Yeah. So I can hear you go, well, I'll stalk these old man tea tree spots, but there's a bit of a problem. They're few and far between. They're surrounded by tea tree. They're hard to get onto quietly. If you look at the video, you can see how good the deer's ears are. And basically, it's not a very successful strategy. So, what are you going to do? How do you actually get onto the deer? Well, what other plants grow where it's moist? Because this is the key factor. Rushes. If you go to Cockie's farm and go hunting on that, the Cockie will have a rush paddock, which is considered poor quality grazing. But in the bush, that's not the case, not in the middle of summer. Because while the deer are not going to come down and eat the rushes, they're going to come down and eat the grass that's growing around the rushes, because the grass is growing in a moist area. So once you understand that, then all you got to do is go and look for the right vegetation, and you'll be able to find the spots where the deer shit is. So you look up and down that creek that I'm on is about 2.4k long, the bit that I'm hunting, and there's only about this one spot that you'll see in the video, and plus another couple of half pie spots. There's a link up here for the importance of water video, which has got a whole lot of rushes on the right hand side. So that's what I call a half pie spot. The deer and pigs, etc., will only be going where the rushes are, not the rest of the clearing. And that's a lot smaller compared to where I've set up for this particular case. Once you understand what to look for, right, it becomes a lot easier to work out where you should position yourself. As I say, in that clearing, in that river, there's only really one spot that I would bother staking out. So when you see the videos, I want you to notice the old man tea tree, the lush green grass, and the rushes, because that's the key thing that you've got to note if you want to be able to get them in the middle of summer. Here you've got the old man tea tree on the right. You can see how lush and green the grass is. You can see the rushes in this view as well. And these pigs are 150 yards away, and if you're got to go across open ground, you don't have to worry about it, you just walk straight up to them. They can't see you. See the rushes in front of the pigs right now, and you can see how green it is. And these are good eating size. You get within sort of 50 yards of them, and then shoot the first one behind the ear, and hope like hell you can get the second one. And yeah, you can see the old man tea tree in that spot. And it's about learning to recognise the foliage, and that tells you so much about the conditions. You can see the rushes in the foreground and to the left of this pig. There's even a few behind it. And you're watching that thistle go across. You can actually see which way the wind's blowing when you look at those sorts of things. And the deer that you're about to see is just to the right of that pig. And this is a few still shots. I was learning to use the camera. From 179 yards away, that just looked like a little orange blob. And I go on about blobs of colour, and this is the colour that you've got to get indelibly etched into your brain, because this is immature colour scheme. And yeah, a blob of colour is like the best description you can possibly have for that at 179 yards. And I was pretty keen to shoot this guy because I've been mucking around all day, and I stuck the camera on a bag, but in the process it got knocked off, and I didn't end up getting a glory shot. You can see the rushes in the foreground, and he's having his last supper. How you feeling, buddy? Hey? Not the best. Hey? No, definitely did. And 6 past 7. I said they'd come out at 7 o'clock. It was a wee bit early. And I still didn't get the glory shot on film. So I put him, I definitely got one in the right place. I don't know about the other one. I had him twice. Why am I where I am in this particular example? You've seen the video and you saw the deer on a sort of it's not really a slip, it's a slump. The hillside just slumped down like this, and it doesn't drain away very well, and as a result that's why you've got all the rushes growing there. And you've seen that the thistle was going across the screen this way, so that you know which way the wind's blowing where the deer is. And that's the same direction as the clouds. So over here, hopefully this works, because it's a whole lot of spatial relationship stuff, and I don't know whether it will come out in the video. Down here is the river, and I could be positioned down here and look up on this clearing. And down here the wind's doing the same thing, it's going the same direction as the cloud, so the bulk of the wind is going this way, but the back eddies are going that way. And over here is a finger of bush. And so if I was positioned there, the back eddies are going to send my scent into the finger of bush. And the finger of bush is it's like a deer highway. Everywhere you see a finger of bush, you'll see, if you walk in the middle of it, you'll see a deer trail. They walk in that in preference to walking out in the open. And they come down out of the catchment, which is sort of way up over here, along this finger of bush and then over into this clear spot, which is got the rushes in. If I was positioned there, my back eddies will be going straight into that finger of bush. And so the deer, in this case it was the pigs, they came out of that finger of bush. Well, if I was there, they would be getting my scent before they even got to coming out. So I'm way over here. There's only sort of two places that I can be. And this is 150 to the pigs and 179 to the deer. Way down river here. So way down here, the main wind's going the same way, but the back eddies are going sort of similar to this point here, but they're going out over the creek. And the back eddies are gentle. So when you get a gentle wind going this way and you've got the main wind going this way, that gentle wind doesn't actually go that far. I'll be quite safe. I can sit there all day and the deer are not going to get me, because my scent's going on the back eddy out across the creek. So that means I've got to be 179 yards away. And people think, well, 179 yards is a long way, but it's not really. If you're not confident with your shooting, just go down to the club day when they have the 200 metre range, which is every now and again they do. That's 220 yards. And you'll find it's relatively easy to shoot 220 yards and hit something this big. So the side of the deer is this big, so easily going to be able to do it. Even with the standard, you don't need a fancy telescopic sight or anything like that. That sort of distance is pretty simple with a bit of practice. And the important thing to note is that I am on the same side of the river. So when you're on the same side of the river, you have to actually pay a lot of attention to which way the wind's blowing. If I was like a bit further downriver where there's the clearing that you see on the Importance of Water video, where I'm on the opposite side of the river, I don't need to worry at all about the wind. That it's never ever going to get to the deer over here. But on the same side of the river, it's a big deal. And so you have to think about where you position yourself. And the key thing is to go and find where the deer nuts are, or there's deer shit. Then cast your eye about where you think you could be. And then you go down and you stand there and you get the feel of the wind. So you know which way the wind should be going, because it should match the clouds, but not always the case. And then also which way the back eddies are going. And is that an issue? So back eddy is probably about 40-50 yards, a gentle one. A strong one would at least 120. And all you do is you just stand there and feel it. And there'll be another thing up here, which is how to work out which way the wind's blowing, just by feel. And you can see in my case I was way down here because I did not want my scent going into that bush finger. So that's why I was so far. When the wind goes the opposite direction, so when it's a northerly, the wind comes down the gut over here and then comes running along this face in the opposite direction, I can be in the close spot because the wind there is continuously going that way. I know it's odd, right? But I have no issue. I can just sit there all day and the deer will not smell me. So the only way that you can find that out is to go and stand there. And when I mean stand there or sit there, I'm talking half an hour. Do it in the middle of the day. Yes, it will be slightly different in the cool of the evening, but generally it's only up and down difference. So in the cool of the evening the wind will be going more downhill down into the creek rather than alongwards. That's like a definite maybe, not a full golden rule. Okay, managed to get the whole lot in the bag. 2 back legs, back stakes, and unfortunately the rest of it was pretty shagged because I hit it twice. That last bit of video you saw was at 8:45 at night, and it's middle of summer. The sun sets at 8:30, and it's dark at 9 o'clock. I got back to camp at 11:15, which is actually early for me. And so you can do the maths, but that's 2.25 hours walking back in the dark. And if you want to be successful in hunting, that's what you've got to be prepared to do. And you've got to have the skills to be able to walk back in the dark. Now, I don't use a GPS because I've been there long enough, and the relief is quite strong, for me anyway, because I've had plenty of experience. I can walk back in the dark. There's no track. There's a razorback ridge that I've got to walk up, which blind man can get up. But after that, it's like about a 40-minute bush bashing exercise. And while I can do it without a GPS, an inexperienced person probably needs one. And the cheap solution is to get NZ Topo 50 on your phone, just as long as you're confident your phone's not going to run out of battery. It works really well, and it saves you having to buy a GPS. If you want to go the whole hog, get a Garmin 64 SC, I think it is, 64 something. They probably superseded it by now, but to get home you need torches. So how many torches do you think I carry? 3. You might think that's a bit over the top, but I hunt by myself, and if you're hunting in pairs, well, you need 2 each, because you can't rule out having a senior moment. And when you go to get your torch out of your bag because it's time to go home, and you realise that you've left it lying on the stretcher at camp, okay, so you're now down to 2, and then you go to get your lead lenser H7, and the battery's been jammed on, or the switch has been jammed on, and the batteries are flat. Well, that's fine, I carry spare batteries, but you weren't careful the previous trip, and you put dead batteries in your bag, which also happened to have the batteries which were good batteries, and they got mixed up. So when you go to load it, it doesn't work because you've got a dead battery in amongst the live batteries. So then you've got to resort to your backup of the backup, which is this thing, nice and small, and really quite handy to have a handheld torch. Most of the stuff nowadays people just use the headlamps because they are basically really good, but it's really handy to have a handheld torch, not only as the backup, but also when you are going down really tricky terrain to go home, like greasy big boulder strewn rivers to get home at night. That's not a lot of fun, and it really does come in handy. You wouldn't think it. You'd think that you could see everything with your headlamp, but take it from past experience. It's handy. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Right? This was a freebie from Gun City for getting a duck license. Retail of 75. These are Night Saver. Not bad. It's a rechargeable battery, but lasts a whole trip. And I do a lot of night work. As long as you run it on the first setting, you don't have a problem. And it's my actual go-to. You don't need it to pierce the distance for 240 metres and all that sort of garbage. You only need about 15 metres. So you can buy a relatively cheap headlamp and you're away laughing. Bunnings have got headlamps for like $7. And don't knock it. They're pretty good. Trade Depot have them for $20, and they are a really waterproof, top-notch headlamp, which is really cheap. So if you want to be a successful hunter, you have to be able to get home in the dark, and you have to be confident in it. And you've got to be confident because you've got enough of these. And when you don't know where you're going, no GPS. As I said, it's early for me to get back at 11:15 in the middle of summer. I've only ever had two times where I haven't made it back, and out of 46 years or something like that I've been hunting. Yeah, so yeah, make sure you carry enough headlamps or lights, and don't make the mistake of hunting your way back to camp, because it is in this place there's very limited places where the deer are coming out, and unfortunately it's an hour and a half walk with no load on to get back. If you try and hunt around the camp clearings, there's no shit on the clearings, so you're wasting your time. Be in a position where you can go to the clearing, stake it out, and stay there until it's too dark to see. If you get it last thing, you've got an hour and a half to cut it up. Then you've got 2.5 hours to walk home. So you can do your own maths. 12:30 at night, as you're getting back, you'll be pretty happy. But you won't be getting up early because daylight's 5:30, but you'll be sleeping in, I can assure you of that one. Yeah, so hopefully you learn the important things, which is have enough torches, have the means to get back, have the confidence to do it, and stay in the best position until it's too dark to see.